you what's been on my mind. Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I am so glad you're here. Today, we're actually going to start off with the recipe for those who are here just for the recipe. And then after that, we're going to swing back a couple of days and I'll catch you up on what's been going on. But right now, we're making a breakfast casserole that's going to serve as our supper, not our breakfast. So I love this one. It is absolutely delicious. I'm going to tell you the variations you can do, the things I normally put in that I don't either have or I'm choosing to leave out. So I'll give you all the information. But first, I've got to fry up some sausage. I've got to chop an onion. I've got to chop some green onion. And I've got to chop up a tomato and wash it. So, we'll be back in just a minute. First, let me just say, if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Leslie. This is my kitchen down on our farm. So we've got some fun stuff to talk about. Bryant's getting a new piece of farm equipment. That'll be in next week's videos, but we'll talk a little bit about it today. And so don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss anything. All right, we'll be back just as soon as I get this sausage fried up and all this chopped up. So I am frying up this sausage. It was frozen. I have a little bit of piece that's still frozen, and I'm breaking it up as I fry it up. And while it's frying, I'm going to go ahead and add in my chopped onions. Now, I'm down in the description, I'm going to actually type out the way I fix this recipe. I don't remember exactly where I found this recipe at. It is not mine. I believe it is called Farmer's Market. I'm going to call it Farmhouse Breakfast Casserole. But I believe the original was called Farmer's Market Breakfast Casserole. I'm not sure, but my name for it is going to be Farmhouse, since I live in a farmhouse. Breakfast casserole. However, I have deviated some from the original recipe. The original recipe called for, I think it's Italian sausage, and you could definitely use that. Also, there's an item that I put in it normally that I don't have right now, and that is mushrooms. Mushrooms are absolutely delicious in this. I just happen not to have them. And one item I am choosing not to put in here is hash browns. So by all means, I'll tell you and explain to you how I normally make it is, and but in the description it's going to be the way I'm making it today. So be sure, if you want to know how I normally make it, be sure to kind of jot that down. But if you were using mushrooms, now is the time. You would have them washed, sliced, and put in here with your sausage and onion. Also, the recipe calls for probably twice the amount of onion I just used. So you can jot that down too. But I think this is plenty of onion, because we're also going to use some green onions as well. All right, I'm going to let this keep frying up. Let the onions get soft, and then I'm going to add in a couple of spoons of minced garlic. All right, I think I'm going to add in some of my garlic now. And I just have a jar of minced garlic. The sausage is almost fully cooked, not quite, but almost. And I'm just gonna put maybe a tablespoon and a half of minced garlic. We don't want to burn the garlic, but we definitely want to cook it so it loses its crispness. We don't want to bite down into a big piece of minced garlic. But it's going to actually cook again in the oven, so don't have to worry too terribly much about it. But I did cook a dish the other day and I didn't let the garlic get completely softened, and it was like, oh, still delicious, but you could definitely get the bite of the garlic, and it was like, wish I had cooked that a little longer. All right, so I think everything is cooked up nicely, and I'm just going to cut it off and leave it right here on the stove top and let the heat in the pan just finish softening everything up. And I'm going to chop up the green onions and the tomatoes now. All right, so here I have my green onions chopped. I have a cup of my frozen bell peppers measured out, and they've been chopped. I also have a tomato chopped up right here. And now we need to whisk some eggs and break up some eggs. So I hope there's 12 in here. See Isaac back there? Isaac and Daniel are working. So we're going to just crack these eggs really fast. I'm checking for shells as we go. Normally, yeah, I would crack these in an individual bowl. But there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means I've got to get some eggs tonight because Bryant's been eating eggs every day for breakfast. So I have got to get some eggs. All right. Let me grab a whisk and throw this away, and I'll be right back. And I want to whisk these up pretty good. And I just give them a head start before I add everything else in. Okay, so to this, I'm going to add 1 cup and 3/4 of milk. Doesn't matter what kind of milk. If you use skim milk, use that. If you use whole milk, use that. If you use evaporated milk, use that. Whatever is your preference is fine. It'll work out just fine. All right, so to this, I'm going to add approximately a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add some black pepper, maybe a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. You use, at this point, you use the seasonings of your choice. If you like, I don't know what, Italian seasoning would probably be good. Some of the Redmond's flavored salts would be good. Garlic, you could add some garlic, although I've got garlic cooking. You could add garlic and onion powder. Whatever kind of seasonings you would like at this point, go ahead. Okay, so to our mixture, we're going to add about 1 cup of cheese, and I'm just going to eyeball it. The recipe calls for 2 cups total. And yes, I know I don't need to be using the shredded kind, but sometimes I just go for what's easier. Plus, I had this in the freezer. And I'm going to whisk that cheese in there. All right, so we're going to set this aside. just briefly. We're going to come over here. I've got my pan. I'm going to grab my sausage and my coconut cooking spray. I splattered it. It's not spraying too terribly well, so I'm going to kind of take my hands and rub it around. Make sure everything's nice and coated. Let me wash. I always keep a dish pan of soapy water for times like this. Okay, now if you were using the hash browns, you would layer them in first, but we are not using the hash browns. So we're starting with our sausage and onion and garlic mixture. And I'm just going to layer that across the bottom of I'm actually being very sure to get everything out. I don't want to leave any of this flavor behind. Ooh, sorry. All right, so we're just going to layer the bottom. Now, I actually have some bacon bits I could add in this, but I don't think I will. Okay, so we're going in now with another cup of cheese, but we're just going to layer this right on top of the sausage. And remember, you could have cooked up mushrooms with that sausage. Okay, so now we're going to layer all our vegetables. And you can mix them if you want, or layer them if you want. However you want to do it, it's fine with me. You just do what's best for your family. I may not use quite all these green peppers. Well, might as well. Might as well. I got them out. Now I'm going in with the green onions. This dish is super flavorful. Okay, now the tomatoes. And you can put more or less. You know, a breakfast casserole is one of those things you can kind of make your own anyway. I mean, you don't have to. You just need to know the base recipe, which is the eggs and the milk. And then you can just put what kind of meat you want in it. Put ham, you could put a bunch of meat. You could leave out vegetables, add vegetables. You could put zucchini, asparagus, whatever. The possibilities are endless. Absolutely endless. Okay, so now I'm going to give my egg mixture one more whisk. And I'm going to pour this over top of our breakfast casserole. Now this can definitely be made the night before, or it can be cooked immediately. However, this is so pretty. I'm going to bring you guys over here just so you can see it up close. It is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous casserole. Let me grab you and bring you over here. Come on, y'all. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now you can sprinkle the top, like I said, with some bacon bits. And I can't decide. Should I use bacon bits? Let's put a little bit. You could sprinkle the top with parsley. You could, I'm grabbing it out of the refrigerator. And I use the real bacon bits. I don't use the fake bacon bits. You know, the real deal. Which the fake ones are probably, I mean, okay. But I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on top, mainly for decoration. But who doesn't like bacon? I mean, I guess there are people out there that don't like bacon, but all right. So now I could do one of two things. I can cover this, refrigerate it, and wait and bake it later. Or I can bake it now, which I'll probably bake it later just because, a little bit later. I may not even refrigerate it. I've got to let my oven preheat anyway. It takes my oven a little while to preheat. So I'm just going to cover it real quick just so no gnats or flies or anything that might be flying around gets in it. And so I'll cover it up and we'll stick it in the oven as soon as my oven preheats, because I do want to get this done and the video edited and out to you guys. So don't forget, stay tuned after the recipe's finished and after the taste test. We'll back up a few days and we'll share the things that's happened over the past few days. Nothing major has happened. I just brought you along because I said these videos this next few weeks are going to be just simple, relaxed. Whatever I cook, whatever I make, whatever I don't cook, wherever I go eat, we'll just bring you guys along with us. All right. This beautiful casserole is out of the oven and look how absolutely gorgeous it looks. I cannot wait to dig in to this. Bryant is out in the hayfield, of course. It is that time of year. Again, we usually get 3 cuttings of hay, and he is actually on his 2nd cutting of hay. So, okay, we'll do a taste test in just a little bit, and maybe Bryant can come in later and give you a taste test. Okay, everybody, look who I got to come in. He's been working on the tractor, getting ready to hit the hayfield.
It's amazing. I know when to come in.
He just smells it, I think.
Smell the vision.
This looks absolutely beautiful. I've already shown them. They've already seen it. Yep.
That is colorful.
Oh, it is. This is a good Christmas breakfast, Christmas morning.
Not just Christmas. I mean,
well, no, it's good anytime, but just the colors remind me of Christmas. Oh, you know what would be really good in here? Oh, my goodness.
That is gorgeous right there. Gorgeous. I
just thought of something else that would be really good in here. Jalapenos.
Well, if you like spicy stuff. I like poquito caliente. How's that?
He likes 0 caliente.
So, all right, here we go. I see tomatoes. I see green peppers. I see sausage. I see eggs. I see cheese. I see bacon bits. I see ham.
No ham.
No ham?
No ham.
Is that it?
Yep.
Oh,
well, and green onions.
Green onions.
And onions. I don't know if you said onions. It's hot.
It's warm.
I always do that to him. I always do that to you. I'm sorry, baby. He has no skin.
Burn all the skin on my tongue there. But it is delicious. It is beautiful and delicious. Here, you take a bite.
Oh, he's going to shove this hot piece in my mouth now.
I'll do you better. I'll cut it now.
Oh, he's going to blow it for me.
Here you go. There you go. Doesn't she look like Betty Crocker in her apron this morning? Huh?
That is good.
Really well.
Tomato's delicious. Well, it almost has a sun-dried tomato taste after you roast it.
But you know, sun-dried tomatoes would be good in here too.
It would be good.
All right, we've had a few bites. It is delicious.
It's so good. This is your supper tonight.
That's fine. I can make a supper off of it.
And probably tomorrow night too. Or maybe breakfast tomorrow. I have a feeling we'll be eating on this for a while.
It's great though. The tomatoes gives it great flavor.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, you get that juice and the acidity from the tomatoes along with the eggs. It's really good.
So good. All right, well, you go back to the hayfield.
I'm going to work. Bye, guys.
Bye, honey.
Bye, sweetie.
All right, so I've got my dishes washed up. I just need to put them away now. And so we will go on to the rest of the video, which is actually, we're backing up a few days. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you're here just for the recipe, you can cut out now. But if you're interested in what my last few days looked like, just stick around and we'll share with you. So, all right, I will see you guys in a little bit. Right before church, we decided to take the boys to McDonald's and let them play a little bit. And Levi decided he wanted to show you his dancing skills. I'm not sure what kind of skills that is, but anyway, he was having a ball. All right, here we have some egg white protein bread going in the oven. I'll let you see it when it comes out. And after I taste it and let you know how it is, if you're interested in a video, let me know. Well, I showed you the bread that was going in the oven. It is actually in the oven. And I told you we would do a taste test and I'd let you know what I thought about it. Actually, you'll have to come back to Friday's video for the taste test of the bread. Only because it needs to cool before I slice it up. And I want it to cool before I slice it. And I want to get this video out to you guys today. So you'll have to come back tomorrow to see the bread. But if it looks I'll show you when it comes out of the oven. You'll get to see it come out of the oven. You just won't get to see it sliced up or me tasting it. But I will show it to you coming out of the oven. So we'll see. It's the first time I've ever done this. It's supposed to be like a carb, a slice. Less than a carb, I think, a slice. So we'll see. It was pretty easy to make. It's mainly just egg whites, but so we'll see what it tastes like. I'm curious myself. I have no idea. So anyway, also, and I don't go anywhere because I'll show it to you when it comes out of the oven. I think I mentioned in this video. Anyway, some things I had planned to go in this video is actually going to go in Friday's video. But I wanted to share with you guys what Bryant's getting. And he is in desperate need of it. I called it a toy, I think, one of his toys. But it's not a man toy. It is a piece of farm equipment that he desperately needs. But he has ordered him a new hay baler. If you know anything about my husband, he buys hardly anything new unless it's for me. And that's only because I insist on it. But usually he buys used farm equipment, used anything. And we have found a few times that when you do buy used, you're buying somebody else's problems. So this was one time I said, you need to get a new one. And he found one. They took a trade-in on our hay baler. So every time, it's just going to be a good thing. It's just going to be a good thing not to have something to put a new bolt in or a new bearing in or a new belt in or whatever. And just to have something be new for a while. And it comes with a warranty. So I'm super excited for him. It comes on Monday. So, of course, it'll be in next week's video. I don't know if it'll be Mondays or Tuesdays, but it'll be in next week's videos. You'll get to see his new hay baler coming in. So he's excited. He deserves it, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him not to have frustrations. So anyway, I'm just anxious to see this bread. I made it along with the casserole, so I thought for supper, we could heat up a slice of the casserole and butter some of that bread and toast it up on the griddle or the frying pan or whatever, and have a nice piece of toast with our breakfast casserole. So that was my idea. And so I'm excited. But anyway, several of you have asked me about my garden. My garden has done really well with the exception of the green beans and with the exception of it rained for a week before we went to the beach. We went to the beach. It rained the first whole half of the week we were at the beach. And needless to say, when we came back, everything was overgrown in weeds. I had kept it immaculate, like immaculate. I would go out every single day and pull weeds out of that garden. So I was absolutely heartbroken when I came home. I mean, and it was so bad. There was no way I couldn't just run a tiller through it, or I mean, there was absolutely no way to recover from the weed growth that came through. Now, all of you know the deer ate my green beans. I know I could plant fall green beans, but y'all, when I say I was absolutely devastated, I was absolutely devastated, and I just no longer had the heart to hardly even go out to the garden. So we have gotten squash and zucchini and all that good stuff. Tomatoes, we've gotten some tomatoes. The weeds did overtake the tomatoes, as well as all that rain knocked them all down to the ground. So anyway, the peppers did great. Everything did great up to a point, and then the weeds have just absolutely, I mean, like I sat the two chairs where we would sit at the garden, because it was my favorite place to be. And I sat those in the garden, just in between two plants, so that Daniel could mow around the garden. And you can't even see the chairs now. That's how bad the weeds are. They have they're terrible. So anyway, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to attempt it next year. I have no idea, because I never know when and where vacation's going to fall. It's just, I was absolutely heartbroken. So anyway, my cousin brought me some green beans from her garden, so I'm going to snap those tonight and maybe cook a mess of green beans. I hadn't had a good fresh mess of green beans in a long time, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get me a bowl and start snapping beans. So y'all, these are the most beautiful green beans I have ever seen. They are absolutely beautiful, picked at the perfect size. I love, can y'all eat a raw green bean? Sorry. You can hear the crunch. I love a raw green bean. Oh my goodness. That's probably my favorite way of eating them. But they have to be garden fresh green beans. Like, I couldn't buy grocery store green beans and eat them raw, but All right, well guys, I'm going to end this video here so I can get it edited and out to you. Stay tuned to tomorrow's video. I've got lots of stuff that happened earlier in the week, and I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, especially if you have grandchildren or elementary, kindergarten aged kids. I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine in tomorrow's video. So I want you to stay tuned. You know, be sure to check back in on Friday's video for that. I also will do, of course, the taste test on the egg white bread. So I'm going to say goodbye here, but stay tuned because I will show you some footage of the bread coming out of the oven. So don't go anywhere, but I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye here. So I will see you guys tomorrow on the Farm and Pastor's Wife. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. And if you have access to any fresh green beans, you get you some and you get you to snapping. I love this. This is the most relaxing thing in the world to me, is to sit and snap green beans. I love to sit on the front porch, but it's super hot out there now. So, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. I'll show you the bread.